plate in there to get warm. So you put
What do you want the oven to?
it on warm.
Warm.
Okay. The first thing you're going to do is get your stuff ready that goes inside the omelet. Yesterday you saw it all prepared like this, but you have to prepare your own. So you have as choices tomorrow. Remember, at home you can put anything you want in your omelet. You have bell pepper, onion, you have a mixture of cheddar and jack cheese. 1/4 cup is 150 calories. Or low moisture part skim mozzarella, 1/4 cup is 90 calories. So when you order cheese, tell me what kind you want, or you'll just get the mix. We also have some salsa. If you want to put parsley, order it, or if you want to use a little sprig of thyme. If you want to use some of my herbs, ask and I'll cut them off for you. I don't want you to prune them too heavily. So you need to prepare these things first. You will need 1 tablespoon of butter. Promise won't work for omelets. You need some fat, so put that in your frying pan. And then use your cutting board. We don't cut on the counters. We don't cut in our fingers. We cut on the cutting board. So onion.
Yeah.
Remember, if you want onion for 3 people, you just write onion 3. Use a French knife. Use it properly. Hold the tip down and using rocking motions, cut evenly. Remember, these need to be small, little mince pieces. No horse size, hippopotamus size pieces of onion.
Can we bring pigs from home?
No.
No?
You can make whatever you want at home. I would much prefer you didn't. It stays in your locker. It could get spoiled. You could get ptomaine poisoning. It's best if you just use the fresh beef that's here. Then it might get used by another class. Chop it up nice and small. Would good to the chips. This would be onion probably for 3 people. If you want lots of onion, there will be plenty. Don't worry about the onion flavor. If your boyfriend or girlfriend doesn't like you because you smell like onions, it's probably not worth bothering with. They're anti-carcinogenic and so are good for you. The bell pepper has been washed. Cut out the pithy part.
This is a juried art show that took place March 3rd at the University of Montana. These are some of the various pieces that were shown at this display.
I'm looking for the red blooded long time since you been trying to man, you gotta pretend. one time I was talking with I guess it was a Japanese student about a year ago. She was interviewing me for a project she had in journalism on campus, and she asked me a question that I don't remember anybody ever having asked before, and apparently it was an Oriental thing or something. She said, "Are you a dark artist, or do you look at the light side of things," or something to that effect? And I said, "I think I'm a dark artist," but it was almost kind of embarrassing, or like I wasn't sure whether that was right. But she didn't mean that in a negative way, and it was an interesting kind of distinction, I think, about artists. Maybe it's a little bit overly generalized, but artists that are preoccupied with difficult and tragic things versus ones who are more concerned with elevating things. It's not a question of one being better than the other, perhaps. It's just a different disposition. This is maple wood, and it's done from the center part of the tree rather than the side, so you can cut in any direction without splintering. And then the surface of the wood is polished to a kind of very high refined quality. It's very, very hard and very tight. I think one of the reasons it's probably not too popular is because teaching it, when students first do it, it's like, you know, drawing a picture of the nail and cement or something, I think is the initial feeling of it. And so you have to be rather persistent, you know, to put up with it. So it's not everybody's bag of tea for certain. In any case, what it does allow, though, is very, very refined kinds of cutting, very detailed kinds of cutting. And I took it from a Frenchman in Chicago many years ago, and actually against my will. I wanted to take a wood cutting class, and they were all filled up, and so I took this class, and there were 6 of us in there, and, you know, it seemed like kind of a strange course. But I fell in love with the process anyway, and been doing it ever since. He taught us the blocks before they're cut look like this, and then we draw pictures on the front of them. And then a very simple thing that he taught us was to take oil paint and rub it into the surface. We use blue and green, colors like that a lot, which makes this block has been cut, but before it was cut, it would be all blue with this black image coming through. Then when you cut the block, you can see just exactly where you cut immediately. So you're in pretty much visual control of it. This was just a little experimental block. This is after the blocks are cut and printed. They can be printed by press or by hand. Roll a roller over the surface, lay paper on it, either burnish it from the back by hand or run it through a press. Then after the blocks are cleaned with thinner, they go black like this, but they're, you know, you can keep printing from them indefinitely. In fact, if you're not printing large editions, these blocks seem to last kind of forever. These are the tools that we use. It was a process that was developed in the 18th century and was used a lot in the 19th century before photography, too. So when you go look at old catalogs from the 19th century, you see these types of prints, these fine detailed kinds of things. They're often wood engravings. Winslow Homer did a lot of wood engraving illustrations for various kinds of magazines and things. The tools that we use for it are metal engraving tools, and they're knives. They're very sharp. There's a wide assortment of these kinds of knives that we use. Anyway, that's basically the technique. This was the first proof, and this was the second. This was the third, and this was the fourth. What happened was that when I was cutting this, and the face textures are cut with a very fine tool, one of the small knives, this looks the same in each print because on the first proof it was finished. There wasn't anything more to do with it. But when I pulled this proof, I realized the face was too dark. And so I started cutting on it, first thinking that it was going to be a fairly simple process to correct. And I cut in layers, and I think that's partly due to the fact that I'm also a painter, and I think that's influenced the way that I do my prints a lot. So I cut in layers in some respects like I paint. At any rate, when I started cutting it, I realized that the skin was beginning to almost look like it was some sort of textile texture or something, and so I began to panic because you can't go backwards with this. You know, you just have to keep going forward all the time. So I started panicking, and then I got desperate and grabbed this larger tool here and started just cutting in the face, and then it was, you know, I thought I had wrecked it, and because she was beginning to look demonic and dark and so forth. So at first, I guess I've done this long enough, so I know when you get to that stage you better stop. I mean, when I was a young artist, it meant I would stay up all night hacking at it and destroy it. And so I went to bed and had dreams about it. And then I woke up early in the morning and it was a little more relaxed and realized that all I had to do was take the fine knife and just systematically go over the surface and break it all down. I wasn't sure whether it worked or not, and I was so anxious to find out that I didn't print the whole print. I just threw a piece of paper on it and rubbed the face. And then when the face came through, I saw that it was okay, and so I was able to do the other print. I wasn't trying to do anything in particular with this. It was just a very fast proof to check the face, but it turned out to be kind of an interesting sort of print in itself. The fingerprints are just exactly that. It was messy trying to get the thing done. The first print, though, was Albrecht Dürer, and I was going to do it as a single print. I do a lot of portrait things, and I don't remember what it was, but something got me preoccupied with Dürer. And when I was working with it, I got the idea of taking a section of his print and putting it in the background, and I think then the whole thing got started. I guess I realized that I wanted to think about printmakers, and I also, it struck up the idea that I wanted to investigate the way they made their prints. It gave me an opportunity, and so I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll select printmakers that are important both historically and are to me personally, and I'll find portraits of them so I can kind of examine their personalities as much as visual art permits. And also their techniques. So I decided to select pictures that I thought were especially reflective of what I knew about them psychologically, and then copy them, just very literally. No any more variation than was necessary, because I thought that way I could kind of experience the way they made their prints. In most cases I took sections, but I did start thinking about them all. I took this from a self-portrait by Dürer that he did in the painting. He was very proud of the fact that he was a Renaissance figure, German who went to Italy, and was very successful. He was the first he's the first printmaker who established, brought it to the status of being a Renaissance fine art. And he traded works with Raphael and people in Italy. But Germany at that time was regarded as a kind of agrarian, sort of rural place. And so when I saw this picture of Dürer dressed up in his furs and the rest of it, I couldn't help but imagine that, you know, this German going back home and becoming kind of a dandy, coming back from Italy, and being the big Renaissance figure. And I took a section from a print he had done of the Return of the Prodigal Son, and I emphasized the swine in it to just kind of contrast the rural flavor, I think, that is in his prints, actually, with him himself. It isn't especially meant to be satirical. I think that it was a big advancement that he made, but as a result of it being something new, he must have indeed been very self-conscious about it. The next one is of Jacques Collot. This is done historically, too. Collot lived in the 16th century. Collot is primarily known as a metal engraver. In fact, after I made this print, after we had the opening here, I had to go to Tulsa and give a talk, and they had a collection of Collot's prints, and they had a print of this particular thing, which was the first time I'd seen it, because I didn't copy this from an original print, which is actually quite a bit smaller. It's about, the original was a little tiny thing, so this had been blown up more than I knew. Collot was a Frenchman who was caught in the midst of the 30 Years' War as a Catholic, and so he he did a series that I think anticipated Goya's Disasters of War called Miseries of War. And Collot, well, at that time it still was not easy to be a social critic and as an artist. You could get into a lot of trouble. And I think that probably influenced Collot's way of showing the atrocities of war, which are very different from Goya. In fact, if you look at his prints, you don't see the atrocities initially. They almost look like landscapes or something. And then you start looking in detail and all these horrible kinds of things going on. Although when Collot gave his descriptions of the prints, he, again, unlike Goya, he's not just, as we would think today, making comments about the horrors of war. For example, with this particular print, which I hadn't known until I saw it down in Tulsa, these are a bunch of people that, as far as he's concerned, deserved what they got. Okay, these were a bunch of criminals that had been rounded up in the 30 Years' War, and so this was a statement from his point of view of what happens to criminals when they don't mend their ways. So it also taught me not to jump to conclusions too quickly about this just meaning that Collot was all upset about the miseries of war, although he was upset about that too. This is a woodcut, which is somewhat related to what I showed down here. This is a metal engraving in which Collot would take metal plates and then cut into the surface with the kinds of tools, metal engraving tools. Although in the case of the engraving, ink is rubbed into where they cut, so where they cut does produce a black line, unlike the white line of the woodcut. This is Rembrandt. Rembrandt is, he was easy to get. Collot was very difficult to find a picture of. There was hardly any pictures of him. And I found an old print that was a copy of a painting by him. It was actually a mediocre print. It wasn't a good print. So this was difficult too, because I had to take this mediocre print and refine it sufficiently so that it fit the rest of these things. And I think I did, but it was difficult to do, and I knew I was having to invent a little bit the anatomy and so forth as I cut the face, but I was able to do that. Getting portraits of Rembrandt, of course, is no problem because he did self-portraits all of his life. It's just a whole chronology of watching him decay and, go to pieces with life and so forth, get very sad as he got old. This is from one of his late portraits. They're very moving, though, very moving portraits. He was, I think, probably one of the last major Christian artists, and he's an interesting combination of being a traditional artist and that he utilized his art for his Christianity, and at the same time was so personal with it, so private with it, that he anticipated modern attitudes towards art, that is, his private expression. So he kind of has his foot in the modern camp and also in the traditional camp. This is from an etching, and Rembrandt is one of the most important innovators in etching. Etching, another thing I should maybe mention here quickly, and I think I mentioned this the first evening I talked, and a lot of people I don't think are aware of this, perhaps more than I think, I'm not sure, but all of this business of printmaking, the basic definition of a print is when you're able to reproduce an image from one surface to another. That's the bottom line of what a print is. Taking an image and putting it someplace else. All the rest of it, what the materials are and so forth, are kind of irrelevant. Anything that does that can be called a print. And human beings have always been fascinated, going back to prehistoric times and people putting their hands in the mud and so forth. There's a kind of feeling that human beings have that there's a power in being able to reproduce images. In fact, for early peoples, it was a kind of magic. It's the power of imitation. Well, in the process of all of this, these people, there's this big debate that went on in the last century and still goes on sometimes, not so much anymore, but in the 20th century. Is a photograph really a work of art, or is it really a print, and a fine art print and so forth? There's a kind of assumption that all of these guys would have been shocked at photographs and despaired of its commercialism and so forth. But the reality of things were that throughout this whole history, there was a process of constantly trying to refine the means of reproducing images that led to photography. So this is also a history of moving towards photography. So they didn't know that, of course, but for instance, the print starts from the piece of wood that was also used as typeset in Germany, because this developed about the same time that book production developed. Metal was used because it lasted longer under the press, didn't wear out so fast. So they're always trying to find out what was tougher to make editions. But it wasn't always fun, even though somebody like Collot was brilliant in terms of the images that he was able to carve into metal. It was a terribly laborious kind of thing. So they were always trying to figure out how they could draw more easily on it. And etching was a process in which they found out how to let acid do it instead of doing it by hand. And what they essentially do is take a ground and put it on the surface of the plate. You can draw through the ground as quickly as drawing on paper. And then you put the plate in acid, and the acid eats through where you've drawn on the ground. But the other side of this is that that's the first step towards automation. Okay, because in effect they have moved into chemistry and began to replace hand labor by doing that. So they were constantly trying to figure out how to move on towards greater efficiency in the image making. Hogarth is a famous English printmaker. He was also primarily a metal engraver. He's one of the first social critics. And it's not an open social critic, and it's not an accident that his life corresponds with the Glorious Revolution in England and the development of the newspaper and so forth. Many of these printmakers are forerunners to newspaper political cartoonists today. They are the visual editorialists of the newspaper. They're the counterpart of the people who write editorials and so forth. And Hogarth was one of those people. In his particular case, I found prints that he had practiced faces, caricatures, and had piled them all together. And I thought that that was very indicative of the way he operated, so I decided to put that into the background. He had this pug dog, and he was constantly putting it into his paintings and so forth, and so I introduced the dog in the corner there too. This is Francisco Goya. Goya is regarded as one of the first modern painters and printmakers, even though he lived at the beginning of the 19th century. And I think it's probably fair. It's in the sense that there are two reasons he's regarded as, at least two, that he's regarded as a kind of modern artist or a forerunner of modern art. One was that he began to view the world in a more tragic, uncertain way that was characteristic of the 20th century more than it was of the Enlightenment. So his attitude was different, or was more kind of forerunner of what we take for granted more in the 20th century. The other thing about Goya was that he began to use imagery that was irrational and was suggestive of the unconscious as well as the conscious, which of course was a big preoccupation in the 20th century. I would sometimes juxtapose their ages with things. It varied. Rembrandt is shown as an old person. In the case of Goya, what I did is I found a picture of him when he was very young. I think he was just in his 20s, and then I juxtaposed that with lithographs that he had done late in life. Actually, his work became more surreal later in life, and he did these series of these kind of flying bulbs in blackness and so forth. The next one is of Picasso, who's very young here, 13 years old. I decided to do that for a couple of reasons, partly because Picasso is so frequently portrayed that we're accustomed to seeing how he looks after middle age, and so he's almost stereotyped. I mean, we see him so much that don't think very much about him, and so I decided to use an image of him that was not so stereotypical. Although, interestingly enough, he has the same expression on his face when he's 13 than he did when he's 80. It doesn't seem to change very much. It's a kind of sort of staring certainty about something, you know. Anyway, I've thought that, and I admire Picasso a lot. I don't like him as a person very much. He was a rather distasteful character in many ways, but I admire him a great deal as an artist. Although in looking at his art over the years, I think he was obsessed with women. And so I decided to do this image of the woman. It always seemed to me that he was trying to look through them, or look inside them or something, that he literally turned them inside and out. And so I decided to take this lithograph that he had done, in which he apparently had done a lot of scratching on the surface with razors and knives and things like that to put behind him. The last print is Hannah Höch. She's the least known of all of the artists in this series. She died in 1972. She's better known in Germany. I'm fairly certain she's going to become more and more well known over time. She was one of the early Dadaists, and she worked alongside of George Grosz and John Hartfield, people who are famous in the art history, modern art history. She was just as good as they were. And in fact, I think in some respects she was just as innovative as John Hartfield. She experimented with exactly the same thing, and that is, by the way, this is a kind of move through all of these different media, because it ends with a photo montage. And what Hannah Höch did was take photographs from magazines and things and cut them up and restructure them into various kinds of images that were usually very psychologically loaded. And I think now there's more recognition that she was almost prophetic in some ways in her concern for contemporary women's issues and so on. This print was done not too long after the First World War. It would have appeared much stranger at that time than it does today. The business of taking a woman and making her muscular like a man and so forth is, I mean, women are able to develop themselves that way today if they do it. That wasn't the case then, so the woman looked almost monstrous, I suppose, at that time. But there's a lot of things that she did with her prints in terms of the psychology and sociology of women's issues that are very interesting. I think she's a case. It wasn't the case of Kollwitz. Kollwitz got lots of recognition. She was a famous artist during her life. Even the Nazi persecution had more to do with her socialism than it did with her gender. Hannah Höch, on the other hand, I think was ignored because of her gender. I haven't been able to find any justification that there would be less attention paid to her than John Hartfield and so forth. So this is quite strictly chronological. I mean, it ends with the last in the series of Hannah Höch. I mentioned also in the last talk that I left out lots of printmakers that are really important and arguably just as good and significant and so forth, but when you do these kinds of things, you have to make your own choices. And so I decided to take printmakers that I thought were both important historically and then at the same time significant to myself. I think that's pretty much all I want to say. Any questions or comments? Yeah.
Are you done?
With
Are you
this
going to
series?
continue this?
Yeah, I think I am. Yeah. Because it seemed to me that everybody after Hannah Höch, she died as a very old woman, and so I could still feel comfortable with picking her out and putting her in this. Everything else seems like kind of becoming sort of piling up. You know, I mean, so I think that's kind of it. It's a little bit, I had to illustrate portraits for the last best place, and there was, I was given 15 authors that I was to choose from. Now that was way harder than this, because I live in Montana, and so I know a whole bunch of people who write on top of it. I mean, personal friends and things like that. And I thought, I can't choose on that basis. You know, I've got to choose people who would not be questioned as to their significance. One might like them or not like them, but so I had, and actually once you get a criteria like that in your mind, with the exception of maybe one or two of them, that wasn't too difficult to do. And in some respects, I tried to keep that in mind with these particular individuals too.
Are all of yours wood cuts, or do you do some lithographs and some?
No, I work mostly with this now. It's partly just out of practice. When I went to graduate school, I was equally interested in everything, and so studied lithography and etching and everything. Not so much silk screening I did, just a very little of that. And I worked with them all equally, and I think that if I'd had more money when I graduated from graduate school, I might have continued. I was very interested, for example, in etching. I liked it a lot. But you need a press. You need a situation with all these chemicals and so forth. And like most artists who get finished with graduate school, they don't have anything. And I didn't either. And the woodcuts are something you carry around in a satchel and do. And so I carried them around in a satchel and did them for so long that I got way better at this than I did these other things. Then when I finally got back to teaching and had access to a studio, I realized that I could start working with it, but I suppose just the fact that I've worked with this so long has just kept me doing it anyway. But certainly I'm interested in those other media a lot.
How long did it take you to do the series?
I worked on them off and on for about 3 years. It wasn't steady work. The blocks go a little bit faster than you might think. And so if I had worked steadily on them, I think I probably could have gotten them done in less than a year. So the reason that they took 2 or 3 years is because I kind of did them sporadically. I paint a lot too, and so I would not work on them for a long time and just paint. And another thing was finding the portraits. That was difficult. And so Hana Haka couldn't hardly find anything. I finally found a picture of her was talking with somebody else. It was a side view and a very tiny picture, and I had to take it out. As I mentioned with Clo, I couldn't find anything except a crude kind of woodcut of him. So about 2 or 3 years all told.
Was your objective to create one final print for each of these blocks?
No.
Or did you pull a series of each of these
No,
blocks?
these
or
are all
how did you-
unlimited editions.
Okay.
And I work with that. I always do unlimited editions unless I've been commissioned to have a specific edition. Sometimes, they say they don't want so many prints, and then that's it. So these are unlimited editions.
Were these pulled on a press, or did you?
No, these are all hand
These are
printed.
all hand-
No, yeah. Another thing people ask about too, you haven't, is the red chop there. That was the Chinese use the Orientals, Chinese and Japanese, use chops as stamps on their prints. But they are pieces of jade that have little relief of the artist's signature in them. And then you put them in ink and stamp them, and that's their signature. Don Bunty and I went to China in 1984, and as gifts they gave us these chops, and they had our names on them in Chinese and in English. And I like the chops so much that especially the red business, that I've just been identifying my blocks with that ever since I've gotten it. And then the red started really interesting me, and finally, not in these particular prints, but I've been incorporating red into my prints quite a bit. I think just because it added some kind of a flash of color. They still look black and white, but there's a kind of color component in it too. So, yeah, I like that.
I hate to show my ignorance, but
Yeah, it's
doesn't
okay.
an unlimited amount of pulls of prints make the value less?
Yeah. Oh, that's not ignorant at all. In fact, that's why. In fact, some people, that becomes an issue, and sometimes gallery dealers don't like the business of unlimited editions. It's not an artistic thing; it's a market thing. Because if you're printing properly, the print should be of pretty equal quality all the way through the edition. But it's a market thing, and there's this notion that market-wise, that the closer you come to the early part of the edition, the more value they have. The further away, the least value, or the less value. That's why artist proofs, which are, you see on print sometimes, these are numbered, okay? This says one first-hand print, and if I did 30 of them, it would go up to, 30th hand print and so forth. Sometimes on prints you'll see A-P, and that means artist proof. And an artist proof are the prints that you do before you've decided on your edition. Okay? And sometimes they can look almost identical to the edition prints, sometimes radically different. Those would be proofs over there, the ones I showed you about Katie Colvitz. But artist proofs sometimes can have value because they have this kind of special pre-edition sort of quality. It's not, most of the time I haven't found it to be a problem. The reason I quit making editions, again, unless you're commissioned to, you don't have any choice, that's the arrangement, all right? But the reason I quit is because when I studied printmaking in graduate school, we used to spend a lot of time learning how to make editions. And we'd do these prints and then do 50 prints and pile them up. And so that was okay, because we learned how to print that way. But there was also this kind of idea that we had to make 50 and then we had to number them and so forth. And we all realized that they didn't go anywhere. We just had these big piles of these things to put around on shelves. I mean, what the hell was this edition about? Nobody was asking for them, okay? Why were we wasting this paper and ink on all of this stuff? And pretending that somebody had said, we want you to make no more than 100 of these, or something. Nobody had said anything. So I thought, I'm not going to bother with that, because the problem is, see, getting back to your question, is that if you put an additional number on it, you, in fact, can't print any more than that. Even if somebody hasn't contracted you to print more than that is to lie about the print, all right? So sometimes artists will put unlimited editions, but they run the risk then of people who speculate in prints saying they're of less value because they're unlimited. I have had that happen very rarely. There was one occasion, though, where I remember it did make a difference, and it was in Germany. And I had this handprint business on it, and some German guy came up and said, what does that mean? And I said, that means handprint. He said, that means unlimited edition, doesn't it? Okay. And I said, yeah. And I could see right then that, because he was thinking about buying a print, and that was enough to make him decide not to do it. But actually, I haven't found that to be the case. And what it seems to balance out against something that I prefer. What I like about the unlimited editions is I've got blocks that I've done is they're 30 years old, and they have this big trunk of these blocks. And somebody will see a particular print and like that, and maybe I haven't even printed from that block for 8 years or something like that. It gives me the freedom to make them indefinite, and I would prefer that to the trade-off. And I'm not so rich and famous that I'm going broke because of making unlimited editions.
What kind of paper are you using? Is there a particular...
This is handmade Japanese paper, Kitakata paper it's called. And it's used, it's a well-known paper. I get it through a Japanese supply house in Portland, Oregon. I like it because it's for hand printing, because it's a very tough paper. It's not pure white, it's an off color, which I prefer. And it's thick enough to be tough. It's thin enough so that when I burnish it from the other side, I can see the print coming through. It's transparent enough so I can control it. And it holds up pretty well. It doesn't wrinkle too easily and things like that. It's pretty accessible. They also make that in different colors, but I usually use this color. Kitakata paper is called.
Weren't there any American printers from...
Jose Posada. Yeah, I thought about that a lot, and Jose Posada is, at least in the continental sense of the word, yeah. And I had thought a little bit about North Americans, and there's a lot of very famous North Americans that are important to me. But I didn't, at the same time, there wasn't anybody that jumped out the way, I just had to admit that. And I decided not to do it just for the sake of doing it. But Jose Posada is an American printer. Anything else? Thank you for coming and listening.
Thank you. QB.
In general, not, but
Read your like yeah, but not Juliet. Write the first story, we can write a story about it. Just give us the help. Like it's more about
It sounded like he knew a little bit about the snake. I wanted to ask another question, but I didn't. Okay. I just thought you were telling me that's what
my neck is starting to hurt, so I'm like this. I'm like,
There's something that
because my neck is
good to see you again. Watching that,
my neck black.
and like you said, you can see it from that
So
side.
I just like I want to just like
So you're not going to have more control over it.
Right, right. You can
where is that? On the wall? How should we just get it? Get everything possible.
Probably. We're taking all the 8th graders over here on the 14th, so it would have to be that week before, like, if not next week.
So we're going to try second and 3 sections.
All right, a few ground rules. Don't jump on the seat. Don't break anything. And for all you freshmen out there, this is not a babysitting service. And now, for the Masters of Fun. see all you Funkatillas getting out here and dancing tonight. All right.
This next one's kind of a slow one. Why don't you grab your honeymooners and snuggle them up, okay?
All right.
It's a little number we worked up for y'all. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Why don't you all get up and dance, please? This Corver, come up and dance, son. We get a lot of people that dance up here.
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
Oops, we pushed on the button on dance keyboards. All right.
You guys feeling good out there tonight?
We're gonna do this next one all for you all. So it's good.
When I was young, I listened to soft music, but then I got smart and listened to rock. When I was driving my car, I got in a wreck 'cause I was headbanging. I made a wheelchair now, and now I am a headbanging handicap. All right, brothers and sisters, it's request time. Any big
requests out there?
Oh, okay.
Wait. Excuse me, can we all be quiet? There's a man in the back that has a request. Can't touch this.
Know it. Just watch me and follow. Watch me.
Oh. Dare
Didn't we like learn this on guitar like back a long time ago? It's like this trombone going on. All right. Just warming up a little bit. Play a little Can't Touch This for Mr. Potts back there. All right. Hot damn! Woo! All right, here we go. Time. Thank you. Don't mess with me. All right. Don't mess with me.
Don't mess with us.
Yeah. So, okay, we're gonna get the elements up here. We're gonna let them close for us. Come on up, Jimmy. Okay, so we're gonna play this last tune, and we'd like to dedicate it to Jenny Rude. So, thank you for coming, and we'll let the elements come on stage here as soon as we're done.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah.
All right, keep smiling.
Brian,
I think during the adolescent years, communication is very difficult. And one reason it's difficult is because the emotions are so up and down. The mood swings are up. I get quite a few students visiting with me about either being accepted in a clique or not being accepted in a clique. So it is on the minds of a lot of kids. And I think it can be a real hurtful thing for kids when they feel like they're being ostracized from a particular group. Pause and say one thing.
I think that people can't relate to each other at Sentinel because they're so involved in their cliques that they can't see past them, and they don't really know, they don't even acknowledge that the people they go to school with are real humans. They just see them as what their labels say.
Occasionally we all have a fight, yes. Some days are worse than others.
in conclusion, it isn't very nice when people hit each other.
I don't think we adults do a very good job of helping kids learn how to deal with conflict in an effective way. And teenagers sometimes have problems with impulse control. They react to a situation before they think through what is the best option, best way to handle it. And the bottom line is you have to feel good about yourself before you can be in a healthy relationship.
Hi, welcome to MCAT. This is the Sentinel Hour. You can call in whenever you want. We're gonna have like little shows going on in between here, and I don't know. I'm Kaylee Archibald. This is.
I'm Dan Arbach.
I'm Veronica Kelly.
Ryan Harris.
Amanda Murray.
And we're all from Sentinel. Do we want to say our years?
No. I'm a junior.
We're all juniors except for...
I'm a senior and, well...
Underclassmen.
Underclassmen.
We'll leave it at that.
Thanks.
She's one of the good ones, though. I mean, give her
thanks.
that.
But
We need you to speak up just a little bit. Thanks.
Yes.
Well, we've been informed we need to speak up a little bit more, so...
we're gonna scream now. No, come on, call in, and we don't care. Whatever. You can call in through the whole show, even when other shows are playing. We don't mind talking to you. chances are you'll make it on live, so...
The number is 542 MCAT.
And...
That's 542 MCAT.
For all of
Thanks,
you
Ron.
hard
You can
hitting
read.
people.
542...
Good to know.
6...
MCAT.
228. 6228. So, hello.
Right on.
Okay.
Anybody out there?
Don't jump too quick.
Yeah.
Not everybody
Maybe we
wants
give a
it.
topic,
Please
you know?
call.
What do you got?
I thought we were going to talk about the Grizz.
The
So,
Grizz?
yeah, what about those Grizz?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Who cares?
Number 1.
Any comments?
Yeah, woohoo!
Any-
Ah, those Grizz.
Somebody likes them, huh?
You know, it kind of reminded me of how Sentinel we actually won a game. It was nice.
I've heard the Sentinel basketball team's doing well.
Hi, this is Sentinel.
Hi, is Loretta Williams there?
Yes, she is. Come on.
And now she's on. There you go.
Well, she's almost on.
Hi, I'm your brother, Zach.
That's my little brother.
Hey, what's up, Zach? How you doing?
So Zach,
Coming
how old
at
are
you,
you?
baby.
12 years old.
Yeah.
So what do you think of this show, being a 12-year-old and all?
I don't know, something just beeped.
Really? You gonna go to Sentinel when you grow up?
I think that's your other line.
Grow up. Yeah, that's 12 years old. We're reminded constantly.
So you got anything to ask us? Tell us, interesting story?
Tell us a joke.
Are you still there?
Yeah, those girls are pretty good.
Yeah, they are.
Did you watch?
We're pumped.
Woohoo,
Did you see the
go
game?
Grizzlies!
Are you happy Dave Dickinson is getting a patent award?
Yeah,
That's
that's.
rad.
I'm
That's nice.
stoked.
Cool.
Yeah.
Totally.
You're stoked?
Yeah, I was house cleaning, and I dropped my mop because of it.
Really? Did it hit you in the head again?
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Thank
too.
you. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, have a
Coming
good one.
at you, baby.
Line 2?
Yeah.
Don't yell.
Ah,
Well, we lost line 2, but...
No, you didn't lose me.
Oh, hey.
Okay, hi.
What?
Two.
the two. I see.
How are you?
You know who this is?
You know, I think I do.
Just to refresh my memory.
It's Trouble, I think.
Dan, it's Josh.
Hey, how's it going, Josh?
Josh who?
Josh Burnham.
Hey,
Burn him up, baby.
one of our fellow Sentinel students.
So what do you got to tell us, Josh?
I just wanted to represent two, tell you the
Oh,
two's in the house.
What's this two?
Shut up, you know.
We don't know. For those
For
watching
debate.
that don't understand exactly what 2 is, could you let us in on it?
No, everybody knows. Just you. You're the only one in the dark. Ask Mandy, she knows the two. Dan knows the two.
Oh, yeah.
Knows the two.
I know the
She
2.
knows the two.
Well, Josh, we've got a lot of 12-year-olds out there that are dying to know what is the two.
Out of control. So,
Okay.
What did you think
All right.
about those Grizz?
oh, I don't want to talk about the grid.
What do you want to talk about?
I just wanted to say I want a prize or something. You guys gave prizes last night.
Okay, we got a prize for you.
That's a different
That's-
show.
We'll give you
the
a
real
big
show,
kiss
like-
from somebody from Sentinel.
Okay.
This is the Sentinel Hour, and
Am I
so
gonna
we
do
don't
it?
give prizes out.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
All right, well,
Well, good to
We
hear
might
from you,
be able
Josh.
to give you candy canes, though.
I want a candy cane then.
Okay.
You want a candy cane?
We'll bring
Ooh,
you a candy
I
cane
want a
tomorrow,
candy
okay?
cane.
You want a candy?
Anybody who calls up can have a candy cane.
Sorry, one.
That's an incentive.
Beautiful Christmas tree on it.
Or
See that?
Christmas
Josh,
tree.
Josh, this is yours. You see it?
No, not really.
Can we get a close
Can
up?
we get a close-up on it?
Close up on the tree.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Mandy has decided to give this to Josh as his prize.
Is it-
You will be awarded this tomorrow, sometime during school.
Sounds good.
I hope you enjoy it.
I'll be there.
Okay.
Good deal. Nice hearing from
Let's
you.
put it back on the tree.
You have a good one, man.
Have a good show.
Thanks, you too.
You guys, you can't give that away. We're just.
We weren't going to give it away.
Oh, screw it. We'll just throw it at the tree.
Don't even joke about it.
Okay.
Line 1?
Yeah. What do you want to say?
Hey, this is Sentinel Hour. How's it going?
It's going fine. I came to discuss something which I feel needs some serious addressing.
Shoot.
This is the deterioration of America, the American dream, and I find it quickly slipping through our fingers.
What's your name?
I just find it distressing that I can be turned down for a job that a spick can go and get.
Excuse me,
Well,
we'd appreciate no
I find
racial
our
comments.
white America is quickly beating us and slipping
You
through
know,
our
I
fingers.
have an idea here.
Okay.
I have an idea. This is my idea. I'm thinking, calm down.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's gonna be okay.
I would like to discuss this seriously. I just people on welfare. I mean, they have just as much money as anyone else.
Take this seriously.
I say that
the border, I say just kill the immigrants. I don't see what we're doing.
But this is land of the free, home of opportunities.
If you don't have as much education as another person, it doesn't make you better than just because you're white.
No, I'm talking about the American dream, apple pie here.
I love it.
I'm a white American.
Yeah.
And this is about apple pie?
Yes. I'm a white American. That's what this country was founded on. White male Americans.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Who was here before the whites ever discovered this nice country?
Well, that would be the
Native Americans? Native Americans, please?
Yeah, Buffalo Humpers, yeah.
I don't.
Well, you have a good night, all right?
Where's my bell?
Okay, we have a
That was
show. They're the coffee shop and sober, so I hope you enjoy. They should be very good. They you can call in even when they're on. We don't mind. It's really fun.
We can still rap with you.
Hey, here we go.
The Brick Espresso, home of the Velvet Foam. Its atmosphere is calm and relaxed, a good place to do homework, has lots of good pastries and desserts, and has very friendly employees.
Can I get a drink? How about one of the new clam chowder lattes? We just brought them up. They're very good. Smoking milk right here. So what do you say? Got you set up. They got these baristas here in America, and they got the baristas in Italy. Guys in Italy can't compare to the Americans. You know why? I bet you don't know why. Well, I'll tell you why. Because the milk out here is all homogenized. The milk there, they shoot it straight from the cow. It's not that good. I mean, you have higher fat. But once you start out steaming warm milk, it's disgusting. So right here, all our milk is purified, homogenized, smoothed out, chocolate. I mean, you can't get a mocha in Italy. Come on, hello. The espresso here is much smoother, too, because we have an imported Colombian bean. Italians use European beans. They're horrible. They're awful. You don't want to ever drink them. Right here, you'll notice. Take the pitch right off, steam them up, throw in a couple of shots like so, right? Pour the drink here, right? This is high-quality drinking. This is a man's espresso. A little bit of overflow there, a little bit of push. It's okay. Quality drinking.
Second thought.
Welcome to Second Thought. We serve the finest coffee in Missoula.
The Second Thought has a bookstore in which you can purchase books or magazines to read while drinking your coffee or eating in the delicatessen. Atomic Grind. The Atomic Grind is a good place to go with friends. You can play board games, cards, or sit and talk. It is one of the few coffee shops with a smoking lounge. Java the Hut. Java the Hut is the newest coffee shop that has come to Missoula. Live bands visit on the weekends, and it has a variety of coffees and deli foods.
Java the Hut, downtown Missoula, 103 East Main, and we're the newest coffee shop in Montana, in Missoula, of which there are many. We appreciate everybody stopping by and taking a look and seeing if you like the place. We do live music on the weekends, Friday and Saturday. We do some other things. We do poetry readings through the Buttered Toast Society of the university, the Undergraduate Poetry Society, along with open mic on Monday nights where we invite any musicians down that want to play.
Wow, that's good.
Here we are. What happened to Sober? Hey, we have another show that's called Sober.
Well, you know, that's okay.
Hey, we have someone who's in the house. But we have Travis from Shustari and Dan. And they're on right now. Hi.
Yeah, where's your mama?
You're on the air, baby. Coming at you.
So what do you guys think of that little coffee flip there?
I thought it sucked.
What did you think about the man who was being extremely racist?
That's what I called to discuss tonight. He was talking about serious discussion about white America, but I think the serious discussion should be about racial tension in America and how we need to solve it.
You know, that makes total sense.
Do you have any opinions on
Voice your opinion.
racial
We'd
problem
like
in
to hear
America?
it.
Well, let me tell you a little story. See, my grandfather came to America in 1906, and he had one pair of clothes, didn't have any money, he didn't even have an 8th grade education. But my grandpa, he worked he worked really hard in steel mills across the United States, and he worked his name into the American culture, and they don't call America the melting pot for nothing.
All right.
I thought your grandpa was a farmer.
You know.
Well, Travis, I'm sorry, buddy, but we gotta go. If you want, you can call back later. Alrighty?
All right, do I get a prize?
No.
Sorry, we don't have any to give away on the show.
Oh. All right, well, maybe we'll chill later.
Yeah, you have a good one, man.
Bye.
Peace.
Hey, welcome to the Sentinel Hour. How's it going?
Good, good. I'd like to ask you a question. With the east and west larger population areas, several high schools are having problems with violence happening in the schools.
Yeah.
And as Missoula's growing, do you folks have suggestions as to how to try and avoid that happening in our schools?
I feel in Sentinel, at least, violence hasn't become a problem, and we're very fortunate of that. And I think as long as people get involved with their school or involved in something, then they have less time on their hands and less violence to create.
Okay. What happens when that comes to our school, to Sentinel? Do you folks have any ideas of how to try and stop it?
Well, I've seen, like, in some areas they have, like, police, and they have police standing at every door every single morning and every afternoon. And they have, like, metal detectors. And I think the metal detectors might work, but if you have people standing there searching everybody, they can't live a normal life, I mean, it's not a bad idea, but I think it's poorly executed,
I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know. I've never really thought about that, but it seems like Sentinel really doesn't seem like it's that type of school that would ever. I don't know. A lot of the people are really neat people, and I know that some people aren't like that, but some people are that would bring violence into the schools, and. But
say go home.
Yeah, I mean, tell them to go home. Tell them if they're gonna do that to our school, just say, fine, that's your education is over with.
I mean, eventually, if
they have to
violence does come, then we'll adapt to it and we'll form rules to stop the violence. But until then, we can just be happy that we have a great school.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for your call. You have a good one.
See ya.
Got a question?
Okay, so what did everybody think about that little break espresso thing?
Yeah.
And all those.
And also, what did you think about the violence or the racial tension?
Hello?
How you doing?
Good, how about yourself?
Not too bad. I have some questions about violence in the school.
Shoot.
Go for it.
What do you guys think about it?
Don't like it.
Don't like it, not at all?
What?
Do you guys have a dividing line between violence in the schools and maybe just self-protection in the schools?
Could you repeat that?
Do you guys have a line
difficult to hear on these.
I'm
We
sorry.
ask you to repeat, just nicely do it, I guess.
Yeah,
But
don't use any profanity.
it's kind of hard to hear.
possible.
Yeah, and we're
I'm sorry, I
about
couldn't
that.
understand.
I think we have someone on line one. Hello?
Hi.
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 This is Cindy.
Hey,
Hi,
how's it
Cindy.
going, Cindy?
Pretty good.
Good.
I just wanted to make a comment about the guy who was talking about minorities and how they're always taking jobs.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like he's trying to look very hard for a job, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think if he really wants a job, he should, you know, get off his butt and look and stop whining about it.
I know.
Right on.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much for your opinion.
Bye.
Bye, have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Hey, welcome to Sentinel Hour. How's it going?
Are you doing this for school credit or are you doing this for fun?
This is
For school.
basically
Some of us are doing
Journalism
it.
School, journalism.
5th period, journalism 1. We're getting a grade for this.
I did this purely voluntarily.
Because he's just
I'm
a great guy.
good citizen.
Because I have some too. Thank you.
Thank you for your call.
Anyway, that was nice. Okay, I think we have someone on line one.
There's somebody on one.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Not much.
How are you?
Are you guys from Hellgate or Sentinel?
Sentinel.
Sentinel. Do you guys have a big rivalry going with Hellgate?
Not really, not too bad.
Oh, heck yeah.
Really?
There are the
Well-
first 2 rivalries.
Yeah.
We were rivals with Big Sky, but we beat them.
Badass. So I want to know, you guys have all these feelings about minorities. Now, you've grown up in Montana?
No,
Yeah.
sir, I grew up in California, and then Oregon.
Ooh,
I grew up in Washington, outside of Seattle.
right on.
Montana?
So what are you guys, seniors, juniors?
Juniors and seniors.
Senior.
That's pretty cool. Well, all I call to say is really that Sentinel rules, and that your school pretty much bites.
We are from Sentinel, bud. Why does Sentinel rule?
Well,
That right.
thank you anyway.
Okay, coming at ya.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's somebody on two.
Okay.
Hey, how's it going? Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi, I'm a second-time caller today.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to respond in one of my respondents who had talked about me not looking for a job.
Oh.
Okay.
I think that the young lady, obviously, who is a sympathizer, mind you, obviously was missing my point. Basically what I'm saying is that affirmative action is liberal crap.
Okay.
What I'm talking about here is what America is based on, is our wonderful capitalistic system which caters to white males, which it should, because we are the group which established America in the first place. And I'm starting to get a little sick and tired of our country being run
Okay,
by
please
people on
control
welfare,
yourself, okay?
illegal immigrants.
Well, can I say one thing?
Usually,
Yes, you may.
I don't mean this offensively at all.
I'm sorry, sir, but
Well, we
have...
must get on to another call. Thank you for your time.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, hold on.
Welcome to Sentinel, you're on the air.
Hi, I just want to respond to that guy who was
Can you
just
stand
talking.
back from your television to
please?
kill the feedback, please?
Okay.
Thanks. Go on, please.
Okay, well, I think that guy was like, I don't know, but, I guess he was kind of right about those people, but, he doesn't really have any right because everybody's free in America and they should do whatever they want, pretty much. And, I think, you know, some of the Russians, I know, and, they always get, like, a lot of security and stuff and all the jobs. And, you know, I'm not really a racist at all, because a lot of my friends are from different countries, but, I think that guy was just like, he doesn't, I don't know, it's just a complete loser.
I don't think he's seen the world.
Yeah, I think he needs to get out, and he needs to open his mind up to a lot of things, and just because he's, I don't know what his deal is, because I've never had a problem with somebody else taking a job from me because of their different race or anything, and he's just not looking in the right places, and he probably doesn't have the correct, qualifications to, get the job that he's looking for and that other people do, and that's his problem.
Yeah, just everybody has the right in America to do whatever they want, I guess, pretty much.
Thanks for your call.
Yeah, that was very good. Thanks a lot, man.
Hello?
Yes, Ida.
can you hold on a minute, sir?
Yes.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Okay, now
Okay,
go on.
go ahead. That Rocky commercial.
So, so,
Drive.
brr,
Drive.
brr,
Drive.
so, brr,
Drive.
so, brr,
Drive.
so, brr,
Drive.
so, brr.
Be smart. Don't drink and drive. You run the risk of getting your license suspended or revoked. Or worse yet, you might get killed or kill someone else. So be smart.
Drive sober. Right, coming at you, we're on the air.
I know what America's really all about. That's what it's all about. It's not about hard work.
Okay.
Okay, we have to limit each person's call down to at least 5 minutes. You've exceeded your time. At the end of the show, if we have more time, please call back.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Well, that's a good one, man.
Thank you.
What did he say? Welcome to the Sentinel Hour. How's it going?
Pretty good. I just moved up here from Bozeman and I was watching the show.
Right on.
I think it's pretty rad that you guys show the coffee shop things.
Yeah.
I don't have any place to go or really know what's going on around Missoula, and that's pretty rad that you did that. And I think kind of that's what your show was about instead of all this.
Right on. Who is this, by the way?
My name's Ty.
Hey, what's up, Ty? I have a cousin named Ty.
Cool.
So why did you move from Bozeman?
My mom moved up here.
We love having good
Are you in
conversations
high
with
school
nice
or
people.
college or what?
I'm a senior.
In high school?
At
Cool.
What school?
I haven't started going to school yet.
Where are you
You
gonna
should
go?
think about Sentinel.
Then,
We're really
Yeah.
nice people.
that's cool.
This
Very
is a Sentinel,
welcoming
yeah, this
place.
is a Sentinel show.
Yeah, definitely.
So-
You're really,
We'll definitely try out those coffee places. You're probably likely to
There's
see one of us there.
A lot of neat people in there.
Yeah.
A lot of
yeah, and
fun.
if you decide to go to Sentinel, be sure to say hi to each and every one of us, and we'll try to make you feel welcome. We have another caller. Thanks.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks a lot for your time, man.
Hi, you're on the air.
Yeah. You guys were talking earlier about violence in schools, you know?
Yeah.
And well, I'm from Howard. I think that
May I ask you what your name is?
Scott.
All right. Go ahead, Scott.
Well, like when I was a freshman in high school, there was like a lot of fights. Now that I'm a senior, there's just like I haven't seen any fights hardly.
Yeah, definitely.
And I just don't think there's a problem with violence at all. And
I don't think there is either.
yeah, but I don't see like a metal detector and stuff you guys were talking about earlier.
Oh, we were just kind of talking about that as like what would happen if we did have a lot of violence.
Well, I was just bringing a point that, like, in some of the bigger cities and some of the bigger schools, they are forced to use that, and I was just pointing out that I don't know if that's the greatest way to reduce crime in a school.
That's a pretty lame idea, but then also I was just gonna say about the guy who called in earlier about not being able to find a job because
Yeah.
other people would take him. I think that guy's pretty lame, and he needs to get a clue. And if he can't compete for a job, then he needs to check himself a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have another show coming up, which is about first night on December
Thanks a lot, man.
31st. And we have someone in line.
Go to first night. You have to get a button. And where you get these buttons are at the Crystal Theater, Front Street Theater, and Mammoth Bakery. When you're there, you get a little brochure that says who the people are, what's going on, and their backgrounds.
Anyway, what I did for first night.
What I did for first night is me and some people at Sentinel. We had an improv group that we did, and we were asked if we would do it for first night. I think we each got paid like $10 a piece to do it. And what we did is we set up our little improv show with a whole bunch of different. There's a basic thing that we had, and then we included the audience in a lot of different things we did. And I found that's what really got it going. We got everybody in the audience was really involved with what we were doing, And I was amazed with the good response we got.
Dude, come on.
Drama group that we named Liquid Labyrinth. It was supported, I guess, by the YMCA, though they didn't necessarily agree with our views. It was funded by them. Right. And we just got together like a big group and we made a bunch of monologues and then talked about them and made it into a big production. And we wrote it ourselves and directed it mostly by ourselves, although we had help by John Lisa, the graduates.
Okay, tell me about first night.
Okay, we performed it the first night on New Year's Eve, and we had 3 productions. 3 productions in 3 hours, and that was really fun because they were like 45 minutes long, so we had a long time for a break. It was great, and it's so many really fun things to do. It's a totally cool way to spend your New Year's Eve night, and it was great. What was cool about it is that the fact that a lot of people, like, you know, I'd say that about, well, I don't know, but a lot of people went and everything and they had a lot of fun, like, and they were like all drug-free and alcohol-free, at least that's what it was like promoting. And it really seemed to work. A lot of people went out and they weren't, you know, they weren't out there getting trashed, they were out having fun with, you know, those programs and organizations and stuff. A really fun thing was when it was going on midnight every
Yeah.
At the stroke of midnight, everybody was over at the courthouse and we counted down and all hurrah and everything. It was just really, really fun. It's a cool experience for anyone. It was cold, but it was a lot of fun.
First night is the night of December 31st. Come join us.
The losers that hang out down at the courthouse.
(1972). It was a memorable date for all Spartan football players. It was the last time they won state championship. From 1992 to 1995, Sentinel suffered a losing streak of 3 seasons that resulted in a loss of morale and disappointment amongst the players and the students. Vice Principal Tim Dennison comments.
Well, I think anytime you have a situation where the team is not successful, it obviously has an impact on the kids involved. And I think that carries over into the student body. So they had a sense of defeatism for a while and didn't really sense that they had a chance to win. So, I mean, that's very negative. And obviously, we were hoping that something positive would happen to change that all around, and perhaps it has.
Tim Arthur, the new coach for Sentinel, brought forth many new ideas and skills.
He just kept a real good positive attitude from week to week, even when we were down and stuff like that. He just kept a real good, high attitude with all the players up, and then, you know, just keep reinforcing us that we're not bad, that we all are good players, and just keep teaching us from week to week.
Thanks to Coach Arthur, Spartan football players have become extremely devoted to their team.
What's your team all about? Are they a bunch of good guys, or?
Definitely. We got a bunch of great guys. There's people that haven't missed a practice yet.
Really? That devoted? Even when you're losing?
Even when we're losing.
Finally, after 3 seasons of long, hard practices, Sentinel Spartans were rewarded with a 16-13 win over Big Sky High on October 12, 1995.
That would have to be when we beat Big Sky and our whole student body stormed the field.
That must have been a really great feeling to finally win and have it be a crosstown rivalry.
Yeah, totally. And our student body really came out for us, and it was fun.
These seniors are leaving a legacy behind in hopes that the future Spartans will bring more victories to Sentinel.
As a senior, and you're graduating this year, is there anything you'd like to say to the underclassmen, freshman football, or for Spartan football?
Yeah, in order for a successful program to, you know, occur, is everybody's got to get in the weight room. You'll have to be dedicated. You'll have to be able to play together as a team. And, you know, and when things are going bad, you know, like not winning and stuff like that, you just got to all stick together and just hang in there.
Since this is your last year in football, any last words you'd like to say to the freshmen and sophomores? coming up to varsity football?
Well, I hope they can get that one good win and at least keep it going, 'cause I know how fun it is. I hate for them to lose a lot of games because I know how fun that is too.
Thanks, Paul. This has been great.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Sirens.
Okay, I have one thing to say. That was a sticker that was on my face, not a
Yeah.
monster zit. Okay.
Sure. Okay, we have Josh on the line.
Sorry, this is not Josh. I just want to make a comment. I don't know where you're getting that Josh stuff from. I just want to make a comment that guy that called him earlier, he was too correct. I mean, our America is turning to trash. And if he's watching, I'd like maybe for him to get a hold of me so I could talk to him about this.
Well, you know, I think we have a call.
That's the topic of how America is turning to trash.
We have a call online. We have a call online too.
Thank you. Hello? Hello? Hey, what's up, Holmes? You're on the air.
Hey, what's
Hi.
up?
Okay, how's it going? Now, what was your comment again?
Dan's back. Hey.
My name is Todd.
Hey, Todd.
Hey, Todd.
How you doing? Did you have a comment for us, or something?
I just thought that I would tell all your viewers and stuff that I was wondering like what you guys were thinking about like marijuana and like legalizing it so we can use it for other stuff.
That's interesting.
Do you-
What kind of
okay.
stuff, or do you think it should be?
Do you think it should be
Used
smoked
for?
or used, like, as in, I guess, like you said before, making rope or belts or clothing? Belts? Or both. I mean, find one.
Definitely ropes, and you can make shirts out of them.
You know what?
Yeah.
But that's
You don't
hemp.
make shirts out of marijuana, you make it out of hemp, which is the actual plant.
Yeah, that's well. You like have to like marijuana is just part of it, and you'd have to like legalize it to like get the part of the plant that makes the shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Wouldn't you?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's.
Or am I just stupid?
Yeah, you don't
You
even
know-
need to legalize hemp.
Yeah,
It's already legal.
hemp is legal.
Well, I like to smoke it too.
Really? Oh.
Well, thank you very
That
much for your
counts.
opinion. We got to get out to
Yeah.
our calls. You have a good night, all right?
Hey man, word up, but legalize it.
Lay off that
Yeah,
stuff, man.
have a good night there.
Welcome to MCAT. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Fine.
Good, dude.
I just wanted to say that I thought that guy on the video was cute. The last guy you interviewed.
The guy smoking?
No, that guy was on crack. I'm talking about the guy
At the coffee shop?
the football player. I think
Oh, Paul Blastic.
Yeah, I want to
Sentinel High School. He's a senior.
Yeah, but listen to me. You look kind of embarrassed and stuff when you're talking to him. I was wondering if you had something for him.
Paul?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry. Paul's together with one of my good friends.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, I'm
How about
sorry.
how's the guy before that?
Jeremy Presta? He's
Yeah.
together with another senior.
Oh, bummer. All right, well, I thought you made a cute couple with either one of those guys.
Hey, thanks a
I got my
lot.
man.
No, but the guy next to you is pretty cute, too.
With this one, Dan?
Both of them, actually. No, the one in the hat, too, especially.
Dan. He plays tennis.
I love tennis.
So do I. We're tennis players.
Oh, awesome. Well, you should go support the Grizz sometime. They have very good teams here.
Yeah, I actually know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, anyway, have a good night.
You
Thank
too.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. I make a good couple with Paul. I don't know. I think if line two is not safe. Line one.
Just go line two.
Line one.
Hey, welcome to MCAT. How's it going?
Pretty good. This is Cindy again.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell the guy who said that America's all trash and stuff that if he doesn't like it, he can just go live somewhere else. Because if he doesn't like it, I mean, why stay here?
Totally.
Good point.
But chances
Hey.
are there, he's going to even have more of a problem.
Hey, Cindy, what do you think about the hemp thing?
It's pretty, I don't know.
Why did we
This is our world, a lush green paradise meant for man, and a perfect habitat. Under the destruction of man, our world turns into a charred piece of nuclear destruction. Don't let our world turn into this. Keep it the way it should be, beautiful and green.
Goodbye, world.
Stop destruction.
We're gonna be on news after that.
Yeah, we are.
We got another. Oh, that's the whole.
Goodbye, world.
Now check that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, we have a call. Hey, you're back on air.
Yeah, I have a comment in reference to that guy about the marijuana.
Yeah.
Right?
And I just wanted to tell you guys that I think that guy was kind of an idiot. But my point is that we can make paper out of marijuana with 3 times less chemicals than they do to make paper out of timber in the timber industry. The hemp plant actually puts off 3 times the biomass as a tree, and it's harvestable on an annual basis. And I just wanted to make sure that the public basically got that knowledge, because it's pretty important to me. I feel that if we could convert the hemp industry, or the timber industry, into a hemp industry to create paper, and I mean basically forget the rope. We use most of our timber for paper, and I don't know, it just kind of upset me, so I just wanted to make comment to it.
Yeah, they say you can make 4 times as much paper from hemp plant or from a hemp plant as you can from the tree.
Yeah, and it puts off 3 times the biomass, and it's harvestable on an annual basis. And I think the whole point to converting the industry to hemp would be to save our own growth timber, save all of our timber. You know, why do we have to use timber, which is such a precious resource and such beauty in our country, to do this? These are old thoughts. These are thoughts that have gone on, you know, for the last 120, 140 years, things like that, in our country. For as far as you know, cutting the trees down to make paper, it's just a waste, in my opinion. And I just wanted to make a comment to it, and I think you guys are doing a great job, and I appreciate it.
That's great. Thank you for informing us about that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Here's a little piece of information that guy was probably trying to point out. The original document of the Declaration of Independence was written on hemp paper. Okay, anyone didn't know that?
Wow.
Yeah,
We have a
thank you.
caller on line 2.
Okay.
You're on the air. You're not really.
You're gonna go to what?
Hello?
You're gonna go to a video after this call.
We're gonna go to a video after this call, so I don't know what's going on here.
Which line should we pick?
Whatever.
Okay.
Well, we can't
We're
work
on
our
video.
phones.
We're going to a video, I guess.
Alrighty,
So.
we'll be on video.
Video.
Another exciting
go.
video.
Yeah.
Anytime now.
Hey, you get a call.
No, see, what I was saying, I wasn't saying that they shouldn't have police and everything. I said that I don't think that's the key to the problem. I think more if they taught it from the inside rather than the outside.
Yeah.
Because people don't look up to policemen naturally in this world. It's kind of a stereotype.
Yeah.
And some people find a way around a metal detector, you know? It's not that hard.
Oh, yeah.
If people can hijack a plane, they can get into a school, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Have you seen Friday one too many times?
so, I mean, I'm not against it, you know? It's just, I think, I don't think that's the best way. I think we should solve it from the inside as an educational thing.
Have kids looking up to better things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I see where you're coming from about kids looking up to gangs. I think that that's more in the big cities and less in Missoula, because I know a lot of people I've talked to about violence and gangs, they think down on it instead of looking up to people in gangs. Yeah.
Well, I'm a Missoula native, and I've heard stories from kids that I know through being here all my life, and there's some of that going on around here right now.
Well, I think what they're trying to say is that it is going on, but it's not as big a problem as it is in other places right now. And
Yeah, but it can be.
Yeah, that's it. We need to teach the children
It
about
needs
it.
to stop right now. Kids need to go on with better things.
Yeah. That's what I meant by the inside out, you know?
Yeah.
Big cities and small cities like Missoula.
Quit trying to be cool and just be you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your comments, sir.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Merry Christmas. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
What up? I just wanted to say you guys have a pretty cool show today.
Thanks.
I like what you guys are covering. That's pretty cool stuff. As far as I noticed you guys talking about gang activity, that's pretty cool because we need to get rid of that stuff.
Yeah, totally.
And you are?
Ian.
Hi,
What's
Ian.
up?
Hi. Who are you? I know like one person up there.
I'm Veronica.
Who do you know?
Well, the one on the right. I don't remember her name, but no, my right. So you're left.
Really? Okay.
What?
This is Dan. We got.
Oh no, I just been on a couple shows with you.
Oh, yeah, this is Kaylee, I'm Dan, this is Veronica, Ryan.
And Jessica.
All right, cool. Yeah, no, I was actually calling to say hi to Andy because I needed to get some stuff straight, but I just wanted to say you guys have a pretty cool show today.
Right on,
Hey, thanks a lot.
Bye.
Okay, thanks. Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.
We're gonna go to another live show, so if you wanna.
We litter every day, polluting our precious environment. Not only are we slowly killing ourselves with toxins and poisons, but we are also diminishing the populations of wild animals and plants. We are disregarding the fading beauty nature has to offer. Peering into the once pristine waters of the world, we can see the problems of pollution worsening. The skies, too, are turning gray and soon will be deadly for all. Please do your part in preserving the environment as well as life as we presently know it. It requires only recycling, conservation, and awareness.
In cheerleading ways, everybody thinks I'm really dumb. Not saying that I'm not, but everybody automatically thinks that.
You just stereotype yourself. I think everyone stereotypes high school students just because there's a small minority that give all of us a really bad reputation. I don't think people should be classified into groups. I think they should all be just one equal together, united, in peace and harmony. What way?
Yeah, they're from Sentinel. It's Sentinel Films and stuff.
Hey, this summer, I used to go to McCormick Pool and I saw Veronica there. That's the reason why we're all watching over here. That guy was right. You are hot.
Well, thank you.
Do you have any other comments on anything else, maybe?
I don't know. I mean, she's like Vanna White up there. She looks really pretty. She should wear something more low cut or something, you know? Maybe get a lot more guys to watch. And get some, like, I don't know, some, like, candles and, you know, make
Okay, well, this is a live call-in about opinions about, like, other things besides what's going on with us up here, so.
Thank you very much,
Thanks.
Sofika.
Another.
Oh,
Hey,
that's
nice.
candles. That's an art video from last year. Awesome.
And line 3.
Okay.
You're on there?
You're on the
Line
air.
2.
No.
Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
Good,
Great.
how about yourself?
I was just flipping through the channels. What's this show about? I don't even know what's going on.
Well, we're from Sentinel, and we're doing a live hour where people call in and they ask us some questions.
Oh, okay.
And we're getting these weird things going through our video right now. We don't know.
Hopefully you're live.
We don't
You'll
know.
stay live, maybe.
It's from an art video.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh, I see.
There, you got your candles, bud. There you go.
So we're talking
about the
different
last
Someone just
caller.
called in and said they wanted candles, and hey, they got them.
Did you have any opinion you wanted to voice or anything? Talk about?
Oh, he doesn't know what the show's all about. We
Oh, yeah.
basically, yeah, we just get down here, we just have people call in, show different shows about Sentinel, and we talk about opinions and.
How often do you do this?
Well, this is like once a month, but we have other shows that come on a lot more often.
What's going on? There's lips.
It's an art video from last year.
Ah! Or someone else called back. Was that you? No.
What are they
But
cute?
this is, I mean, and we tell people
Veronica.
announcements.
Veronica,
Yeah?
I like what you did with your hair. That looks really good.
Thanks.
Yeah. And the guy to your right?
This guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Cool.
Great.
Guy to the left, she's cool too.
Hey, right on.
And so are the other two chicks.
I'm really sorry to cut you off, but we got to get another caller in.
Alright,
See ya.
Thanks a lot.
love you.
Right back at you. Number 2, 3.
Whatever.
There's no line 3.
Hey, what's up? You're on the air.
Hi, I just had something to say about marijuana.
Go for it.
Actually, I forgot what I was going to say about marijuana. I just wanted to say
Did you
that
know that,
Kaylee is doing a wonderful job on the air tonight, and I would also like to encourage everyone to tune in to Andy's talk show, the Christmas special.
no commercializing! You're on the air.
Thank you, Andy.
Hey, you're on the air.
Yeah, again, I just wanted to reiterate that everybody should tune in to Andy's talk show.
Sorry, yeah.
We are not allowed to commercialize other shows on this show, so nobody's actually watching
Get
right
Twitter for you, right, girl?
now. Okay. Line 1.
Is that Andy again?
You'll have to talk to them. Can you hold on?
Line 1.
One and two.
Okay.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello?
You're on the air.
Hi, this
Hi.
is Trisha.
How's it going, Trisha?
Trisha the lady.
Hey, what's up, Trish?
I was just wondering why you guys cut off the cheerleaders that were going across in the parade.
We didn't have anything to do with that. That was our
Trisha. Dude, someone just called in and was saying how hot Jeremy was.
Really?
Yeah.
Who was that?
I have no idea.
I also wanted to ask Ryan why he's such a strong Republican. And when he's going to turn liberal.
No, we can't go there.
You know, that's a topic for another day, Trisha.
That's a different show?
What?
Yeah, Trish, we'll talk about it at school.
We have 5 minutes.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Bye, Trisha.
Hey, how's it going? You live?
You know that blonde girl?
What?
You know the blonde girl?
That's
Yeah?
me,
What's your name?
Veronica.
I think you're sort of cute.
Thanks.
That's all I want to say.
Thanks a lot, man.
Amanda, get out.
You got somebody on line one but watching.
Hey, you're live on MCAT.
Hey, what's going on?
Just like to say that she stars in the Mother Government House.
Oh, really?
Yes, you're starry.
Yeah, and she started in all way condones the watching of Andy's talk show. So,
Okay.
Ah, I got me.
On two.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, pretty good.